This is a daddy drone, and this is a mommy drone. How do I know this is a daddy drone, and how do I know this is a mommy drone? Well, a daddy drone shoots in 10-bit and has a rather large sensor, while the mommy drone has a smaller, more subtle, subdued sensor. They're also a lot more frugal and more affordable. When a daddy drone gets the urge, you know, the absolute cannibalistic animal-like urges, God bless it anyways, his urge, and he sees the mommy drone, and she's like, no, no, more like, yes, yes. She senses the 1-inch sensor of goodness, the 10-bit color. Shit gets real. And then basically, like, 9 months later, there's a baby drone. But this obviously has nothing to do with drones because I'm 36 years old and we're having another kid in 2022. What have we done?
Paul, where the hell are you, Paul?
What are you doing to me?
I don't know. Why are you black, Paul? I can see you, but I can't see you.
It's weird. I can see me on my thing. What's going on? And my internet must be trash.
Your internet is trash. How about you disconnect, you come back, we try this all over again, Paul.
This is exactly what I did last week. What the frick? I'll be back.
Yeah, I'll see you in a minute. Well, while Paul's figuring out his internet sensation, he's got some of the worst internet on the planet, I swear to Christ. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to season 2 of Drone Brews. Holy shit, we've gone through a whole season and I'm still not sober. I don't know how that happens. Anyways, brand new branding, season 2. We just put a 2 on it, but it's the same shitty show. I don't know why. Why are you here? Why have you come back for all of this? Artco, thank you so much. So there you go. That's the reason why we had to get a studio. I was kicked out of my house because we're having another kid, so I had to get a studio. So that's that. That's what I couldn't talk about. We're still waiting on Paul to figure out his shit. I mean, you know what? Who thinks we should get a new producer? You think we should get a producer with comparable internet to, you know, my internet? I mean, I think we should. Maybe we should. I don't know. Hopefully he comes back. I don't know. I think he's firing up the gerbils. Not really sure what's going on. Got a great guest tonight. We got Eric Konasty. I don't know how we pronounce it, but we're going to figure it out. I'm sure I just fucked that all up, but it's going to be great. Paul, there you are.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. It's my internet. We'll blame it on my internet.
We're going to blame it on your internet, Paul. We're going to blame it on your internet.
It's all colorful in here today.
It is very colorful. I like what you did with the place. I love how we have the Drone Brews branding up here now. We got all this new branding. And down here, you have, you got the show notes. I like it, Paul. You did a good job. You did a really good job. Paul, How about this? What's that?
So the bonus, where's the bonus?
Yeah, huh? Let's go ahead and greet the chat. It's in the mail, Paul.
Okay.
Bonus is in the mail. Yep, it's in the mail, Paul. Let's go ahead and greet the chat, shall we? Let's go ahead and see who we got here. We've got Richmond Ariel Sean, Jake's Drone Life, Brad Henderson, Eddie Nunez. We got Artco Drone Solutions with a $5 super chat. Hey, Ken, here's a few bucks for diapers, bro.
He's going to need it.
I could buy one diaper. No, I'm just joking. We got Just Me Hop here. We got Jim Stewart, Gene Fox Green, Mountain Droning. I got TJ Drones and more. JFPV. Got Patty Mack here. We got Leonard Oglesby, Bobcat FPV, and Junior L. So
Patty Mike said, "Keep Paul." What were you trying to trash me while I was gone?
I just put it out there that maybe we find somebody with better internet. I'm not saying we're getting rid of you. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I can find anybody that works for what you work for, Paul.
It's pretty hard.
Mm-hmm. Anything less would be negative. So who do we got tonight? We got Eric coming on here. I see he's in the green room, sort of. I don't know. If we got
I don't see his face yet, but we'll see what happens.
I don't see his face, so we'll wait till we see the face, and then we will click the intro and bring him in. I'm excited to talk to him because he's done something sort of special around FPV, which is building a very reputable brand, and he's sort of making some moves off YouTube. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. So I think it's going to be a good show. I did, in fact, today, I got the FPV drone back. It's been in my hands for about a day and a half now.
Oh, you did?
So, yeah, I got it back. I got another one. I didn't get it back because I never sent it out. So I decided not to fix the one I destroyed.
You're keeping it as a trophy?
No, I'm not keeping it as a trophy. I decided to do something a little bit more special with it. But we'll talk about that in a couple of weeks once I have a proof of concept. But we're going to do something a little bit more special with that. I think that it's probably what people would have wanted it to be, but it's going to be awesome nonetheless. Paul, what are you drinking tonight? I'm seeing, is that the Dasani water?
My wife loves Aquafina.
Aquafina. Okay.
It's Jared's special cocktail.
Oh,
yeah.
Water or vodka. Is that pure vodka, Paul? Tell me that's pure vodka. That's not vodka.
You know, I don't want my doctor to really know what I'm drinking.
You suck, Paul. I am drinking Bell Cow from J Dubs Brewing. This is a local brewery. I try to drink local breweries. I try anyways. I see Eric's in the back. Eric has a better setup than you, Paul.
It probably does.
I mean, he's got the Boca in the background. He's got the nice mic. Paul, you make me sick, Paul. Let's play Eric's intro.
Yeah. Just roll it. I mean,
roll
it. Can't
get any worse, Paul. I'm clicking the intro.
I'm going to do it.
All right, fine. I dig that. What's going on, Eric?
Yo, can you guys hear me?
Hear you just fine.
Yeah, it sounds better than my microphone.
Oh,
yes,
sick.
The whole scenery.
Got to patch you into the mainframe. You know what I mean?
I heard that. What are you shooting on?
Like camera wise?
Yeah, camera wise.
What is this one? 6D Mark II.
The Boca is insane.
Like Canon colors, man.
50 mil, my G.
What are you drinking?
Fucking Original Coors, baby.
Holy shit! Look at
Wow,
that
I haven't
beard.
seen one of those.
I haven't seen one. God Almighty! This is how it should be.
That's because you guys don't shop in the cheap section, dude.
No, I definitely haven't. But I need to take a visit. I need to take a trip. I mean, two of those is probably, or one of those is probably equivalent to one of these J Dubs. I don't know. This is 5.6. I mean,
Dude, this is equivalent to the P I just took. That's what this is equivalent to.
It. Well, dude, I thank you for taking the time out, coming on the show. You know, if you've heard of this show or seen the show, you know it's pretty much the most informal of them all. I try to get, you know, a different array of people on every single week, you know,
Nice.
around whether it be FPV or just drones in general. But lately it's been a lot of FPV. You know, brought you on specifically because you've done some interesting things around FPV, which is building a brand, that brand that you wear right there on your hat. Talk to us a little bit about that brand. How is that? How did that get started?
Oh, man, I don't even know. Like, let's see. The brand's been out since 2018. I want to say is like when we started actually like doing something with it. It's basically it's me, Mr. Steele Davis.
Okay.
And we have another partner, which is Trappy from TBS.
Oh, nice.
And so between the three of us, we've kind of just basically been building stuff up. I mean, you know, I want to say like me and Steele were we had that team failsafe thing that was kind of going for like a little second that we were kind of doing, and then like Trappy hit Steele up with like, you know, talking about doing like some sort of brand thing. Like we were thinking of just like, me and Steele were just making like some team failsafe shirts and stuff at the time, and he just got done with doing stuff with Rotor Riot and everything, and I was gonna make my own like little frames and stuff like that and whatever. And yeah, then he hit me up and was like, yo, like Trappy's thinking of doing this, and I don't know, we kind of it just conglomerated to what it is kind of now in a sense. And it's mainly been like mostly like refining. FPV's always been our thing. It's not exactly like say like innovating things, but it's more or less like making things better. Like everything could, you know, always be better in a lot of, I think, like just industries in general. Like say, I mean, you could think of like Tesla in a sense. It was like, how can we make a vehicle better and change it a little bit? You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's kind of like the
premise behind
it, the gist of things that we did. It was kind of like we were already getting product, like say from sponsors or buying it ourselves or whatever, then modifying it ourselves to make it how we wanted it to be, to where it was just like, why don't we just come out with the products that we want them to be already? Steele was big on flying like 5-inch drones and everything and office park stuff. I was doing like more like mid long range flights and stuff on that end, like the little cinematic side of things.
Yeah,
and it was just perfect because like we could just like, you know, meet
somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. We both knew what we wanted, and yeah, it was good. It's been good.
So somebody asked, how did you come up with the name?
I think we only threw around like a couple names, but the main thing was like, you know, there's a section of like the industry, like a couple brands and one brand in particular that like a lot of people wanted to like sponsor pilots,
right?
Use them for all their content, which like you have to think. I mean, like editing videos, like, you know, editing videos, going out and doing the content, it's a lot of work. It's like they
want you for free,
they want you for free. And it was basically like, hey, do all this stuff for us. Maybe we'll throw you a little bone once in a while to keep you around. And we didn't want to do that. We were more like if we like, we still haven't brought in like actual like pilots,
right?
But like we've always been on the whole like emphasis of like just ethics. Like we pick. I mean, it's spelt differently, but it's just being ethical
Same
to
meaning.
what you're doing, basically.
Right, I got you.
So
No, that makes sense. And but you're right though. There's a lot of brands. I see it a lot, more so now that I'm involved with the FPV side of life. Is you get a brand that will give a new pilot or an up and comer attention, and they just sort of they gravitate toward that, and they sort of lay down their morals, or like they're just their sort of what their foundation that they built themselves upon. They sort of lay it all down for some free shit, which I never quite understood that. Well, like, why you do that? I
yeah,
mean, why fly something because it's
got to know
easy
your
to
worth,
yeah,
basically.
exactly. So, so your channel, you post sort of infrequently, but I see you're doing a lot of stuff like behind the scenes. I see you flying, is it Sicarios now? I see you got a Cinelifter going. What's up
Yeah,
with that?
so I'd like to get back into as much as I can doing all my like own content again. It's just been so
Yeah.
hard. It's funny because when people always bug me like, "Yo, I want to see you do content again" or whatever, I'm like, "Hey, you ever watch the show SWAT? Like, there's my content, like that's basically what I'm like stuck doing now. Is it's not really stuck. I love doing it. It's so awesome. I have so much fun going out on sets and doing stuff, but it's just for now. I'm just doing content for other people in a sense, not as much myself.
And they don't let you use that content though. It's not like you can't like share that content
They
because that content
a lot of times they don't. You sign like basically an NDA, and the fact that like they're paying you to do it is like they
Right.
own that. They paid you for that
They own
content
that shit.
basically. So
yeah, I mean, and the reality is like YouTube doesn't pay. I mean, it's fun. It's fun. I mean, it's sometimes the reason why brands will find you, or like a specific client will find you, but it's not, I mean, if you're like, you live out in there, California. So, I mean, that shit's expensive out there. Florida, I mean, I could afford a really nice trailer out here from YouTube, like, maybe a double wide at the max, but that's really pushing it. I don't know if I'll have to, possibly ad hoc Wi-Fi from a neighbor. I don't know. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's tough though around that, but you've been flying for quite a while. You're one of the ones that, really sort of carved out a path, I think, in FPV. I mean, you've been at it for what now? At least 6 years
like,
now or more.
I think like 7 or 8 years now or something like that.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, like, I've seen it come like kind of full circle, and like a couple times it feels like stuff that we were doing before is like cool now, and then it goes out and then it comes back. So I've seen like a couple things that have changed around, but yeah, for the most part, like right, I could say like right now it's just like I've been just so busy, like you said, like flying like the bigger rigs and everything, and like just kind of focusing on that. Obviously, I mean, that's paying bills and getting things done. And then yeah, I mean, I go out and fly every day. Like it's like either I'm practicing something, testing something for ethics, or just going out and maybe something's wrong with the quad, like troubleshooting or something like that. But
right.
Literally every day I'm out there doing something.
So, like, with the ethics stuff, what's the thought process behind the product? I mean, like, I know the Mambo has been out for a little bit. Were you part of that design with the Mambos?
Yeah. So the Mambo, that was like TBS was coming out with that. They sent some prototypes over to us. We gave all our feedback between like me and Steele on what we liked, what we didn't like, what we wanted changed up. Like,
right,
like the shell, it has a little more grip, more texture to the actual shell. We changed like the rubbers on the side to have a little more grip. The ergonomics were super good from the radio. I personally think it's one of the best like ergonomics on a radio right now.
I agree.
It didn't have like a rear little kickstand, so we were like, it needs a little kickstand on it. Just stuff like that. It was basically like what we do. Like we take a product and then we refine it to something that like we would want straight out of the box, like ready to fly. To where we don't have to like mod it in a sense.
Now with your rigs, you running Tracer or you running Crossfire still?
So I run tracer on everything I personally fly, like in a sense of just going out and flying. And
Okay.
then when it comes to anything for any of the jobs I do, so basically I'm analog and tracer on my stuff, and then I'm DJI and Crossfire on all my production stuff.
Okay, so you're still running analog then for like your stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. The latency's good.
Gotcha. So, I guess I haven't been around it enough to really, I mean, I flew analog quite a bit, but I guess I just don't notice the latency. I guess the guys that have been around it for a while and it really matters. I mean, they'll notice that latency and it's a thing, it's a thing. I guess I just haven't seen it, but I mean, I think Tracer's pretty solid. I just don't, I don't know with the Cinelifters and things like that. I think I'm still sticking with Crossfire just because it's been proving for years and years and years type of shit.
Yeah.
Not saying that I don't trust Tracer, but I mean, it's just like I'm going to run something that's been, proving for like 5+ years for a little bit before I switch over.
So like Tracer's good. Like if you're just gonna go out and fly and like have fun, like Tracer's awesome because of like
fucking amazing.
The latency on it's like it's crazy. It's like reading your brain. It's nuts. But
it really is.
But so when it comes down to the like production stuff, you're kind of like one of the main things you're fighting is like the video villages and all the RF frequency just crap that's spewing in the air when you're there. And if you're on Crossfire, you're staying away from all that stuff. When you're on a DJI system, like you're kind of staying away from it, but not really. And the only thing is like we can't use analog because they need that HDMI video out to their video village so that way they could see what's going on when we're flying, even though it's not out of the like actual Komodo or whatever we have rigged up.
They
need some sort of speed. Yeah.
Are they in your ear ever just giving you direction as far as what type of shots they want or how aggressive they want you to be on the sticks, or they sort of just leave it up to like you're the pilot, we'll let him navigate, and if we don't like something, we've seen it, we'll say something when he lands?
Yeah, so like it's a little bit of a mix of things with like production place, like so some production houses I've worked with before, they kind of know my flying style and everything, and a lot of them are like, hey, go do your thing. When I work like for like the studios, like say on SWAT for Sony Studios, we have basically it's the same crew. We're all hired by Sony, so it's like the whole same crew of guys that are always out there, same producers, same directors, DPs, all that stuff, whatever. And like some shots they let me do my thing. Other ones they are like, I mean, I always have a guy like next to me because you know how like on the DJI system we have to like tether off our goggles to like the smart controller or something.
Right, exactly.
So a lot of times we can't like cable out to a video village. So what we do is I just have the DP like standing right next to me with the smart controller, and he'll be talking to like the director, like or whoever is in charge of say like that scene. Sometimes they switch, and he's literally like, "Yeah, that was good." He wants you to get like closer. He wants you to like dive in a little bit more, or he wants you to do this. So you do kind of adjust. And then some stuff's like 1 or 2 take stuff, and you just rip, and hopefully you get the shot. So.
And you're primarily flying Komodos and on the sick, right?
That's pretty much it. So
that's pretty much it. That like industry standard pretty much at this point.
Yeah, I mean, like we delegate like shots dependent on like risk factor all the time. So depending on like the stunt work that's going on, if there's like a big explosion or something, we're like okay, let's hit like GoPros on this because it's going to be a cut scene with an explosion and everything. It's not going to really like, you're not going to tell if it was a Komodo or not.
Right.
And if something does happen, like we're not exploding like a full Komodo rig. So
that's sort of crazy. I mean, I guess, it's a different world when you're dealing with these guys. Do they make you bring your own Komodo, or is this something that they're saying, hey, this is the set's, shit, don't break it?
Yeah, I mean, so like if it's an independent job of mine, I bring my own gear out there and everything. But like for all the studio work and a lot of most of it, I work for a production company called Helinet, and they're like a full-scale aviation company in Hollywood. So they do all your like your Top Guns, your news channels, like basically everything in LA that's full-scale aviation. They're doing it. And then they have like a big drone side of things. And then they have like this FPV section that I've been kind of like working on with them, building that up and everything. And yeah, it's basically like, so it's a job. Like we're all union. So we're all like a local 600 union workers. And I get a call sheet. I show up to work. I basically show up with my controller and my goggles. And they, bring the drones all set up, geared up, everything. And I'm basically there to fly is my thing.
But it doesn't even, does it feel like a job though? When you're there and you're doing this, does this feel like a job, or is like every day it's sort of like,
it feels like a very fun, fortunate job to do is what it feels like.
Right. That's,
Are you allowed to share your, are you allowed to share your most exciting, like, is there a job that you like were like most excited about if you can share it at this point? I mean, if you're not NDA or anything.
Yeah, dude, all of them like are so fun in like a certain way. I mean, I work like every year on some jobs with a brand called Icon Motorsports. They do a lot of like they're like a big apparel brand in like the like street bike / like off-road bike scene and stuff like that. And
Icon, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and those guys come up with like crazy stuff to do all the time. They're like, yeah, we got the sickest edit we want to do. Like, we're flying out to this location. Like, can you make it? Like, please. I'm like, yeah, dude, I don't miss one of your shoots. Like, they're so fun. So those are just like great group of guys, usually cool, athlete type of dudes that they have hired, like drifting or doing some bike crazy stunt stuff, something. So it's like, it's super fun. And it's always like, they do always have like, like set shots that they want, but yeah, they just let me rip too, which is super cool.
You do your thing.
Yeah,
I'm assuming if you were like working for like a production, like a movie or something like that, you wouldn't have the ability to like just rip whatever you want. They kind of have a set shot, and that's pretty much about it, right? I mean,
a lot of times, yeah. So like, especially too, because it's like union, they don't really mess around on time. Like everything's like on a super like time crunch because they have a lot of permits they have to go through. They only have so much at like each section to get a shot or whatever. So like some days I show up and like it's union, so I have like a set 10 hours a day, no matter what. So sometimes I go there and I'm like first call in the morning, I'm like chasing some bad guy through like some little alley thing, and I'm there for 15 minutes, get the shot, and they cut me for the day and I go home. And then there's some days where it's like a full entire day, like 14-hour day of work. And in that 14-hour day of work, I mean, I might do a take like 14, 15 times, depending on like what they want me to do. So, yeah, a lot of times, like in all those takes, they let me do like whatever I think's kind of cool. So, yeah, it's a mix.
Something to choose from.
Yeah. So like usually they'll be like, all right, like here's so-and-so's exact shots he wants you to get. And then on these ones, like kind of do what you think might be like a cool shot for us. Like you obviously have a good eye for it. Go ahead and do it. So we'll come up with a bunch of different shots. Like I was doing like, have you ever watched the show SWAT or the movie SWAT?
Oh, I've seen the show and the movie.
You know that like they're like the main feature things, they call it the Gurkha. It's like that like armored SWAT looking car, that big black one that you see always. So we were doing all these shots and everything like throughout, just like rolling grid throughout LA. And it was fun. We worked like morning till like, I think like 10 at night or something, just getting like every like scene of the day type of shots. And once we got into the city, I was kind of like, you start looking at all the buildings and stuff because you got permits now, And so I was like, like they'll be like, okay, like, get in position or something. And I'd get in position and I'd go like all the way up one of the buildings. I'm like, all right, yeah, in position. And they're like, like, where are you at? I would just dive down a building, drop in on the Gurkha and chase it down one of the streets or something. And it's like, it's kind of cool because those are things that they're totally okay with.
That's sort of crazy though, to have that ability to have permits like that, to just hit these spots that, normally we would get a ton of shit for stuff like that, anywhere else, right? I mean,
I used to always fly. There's this guy Kevin. He goes by Kev PV on Instagram, and
Okay.
he would always do all the downtown LA. So he lives down there, so he knew like all the spots. Like, yo, stand here. They can't really find you here, and we could rip from this location or something. And there's like not too many bums or like whatever it is. And we'd go out there like it would be like me and Tommy, like oh my god, Tommy.
Yeah.
We'd go meet him out there, and like we'd rip like all these buildings and stuff. And then you're kind of like, oh man, like I can't really like show any of this to anyone because like you can't anymore. Like everybody would either hate on you or you're what do they call it, ruining the hobby or whatever it is.
Yeah, but you know, is it? Let me ask you a question. Now you bring that up. Is it really though? Do
No.
you blame a couple of bad players for like the grand majority? I just
No, I don't
see
think
it
so
as
because
that.
the guy that's
Oh.
pissed off about that, like if I texted him that evening was like, yo, want to roll out with me and Tommy to go dive some buildings? He'd be like, yeah, bro, let's go.
I think it's an inclusion thing. I think people get mad and butt sore in this hobby because they're not included. You know,
Yeah,
like there's a lot of cool shit
100%.
that goes down. They're just not included. They're not a part of the fun crowd, and that's the problem. You know,
That's the problem. They want a little of that like piece of the exposure pie or something.
I just
Yeah.
don't
But it's
get it
like-
because it's like it's real safe. You know, I mean, I feel like FPV. If you any hobby part of the hobby is safe, I feel like FPV. You're not flying super high. You're not spying on people. You're just having fun ripping it. You know, I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I think there's a fair amount of like risk mitigation that happens when you fly. Like, you know,
100%.
I always check my shit like, you know, 10 times over, even if I'm just like flying super low, like just bandos, whatever. You know, you're checking your stuff because the last thing you want to do is go chasing down for a GoPro. Like that's the thing I don't want to be
you don't
doing at
want
the end of the day.
You don't want to do that no matter what.
Exactly.
Like it doesn't even matter. It's not like you're going out there and being like, I hope I don't crash. You're like, no, I'm doing everything in my ability to like bring this thing home like every single time. Like I'm not gonna go out there with like a janky quad.
I think people underestimate too, like, you know, like when they're out there and you see like everybody flying, like it's a bitch to have to fix things. Like there's nothing worse than having to take the time out of the day and fix it. And of course, you know, at the end of the day, everybody just sees the final product that we deliver to YouTube or whatever social platform we're posting it to and make it look great. But you know, there's a lot of times where I'll go out, I'll fucking break every quad I have, but the final video doesn't look like I broke shit, but I broke everything I came with.
Yeah, man.
And you know,
Movie magic.
Yeah, it's magic, right? So as my buddy says, add to cart. But that shit happens, and I mean, it's, you know, it's end of the day, it's, you know, it's that final delivery. But I mean, I guess in your line of work, you don't really get that luxury to say, hey, sorry, I fucked up this Komodo. Let's go again. I mean, if you're breaking shit that much, they're probably saying, no, fuck this guy.
Yeah, I mean, like you want a good track record for sure. Like usually what I do don't get me wrong, the director, like the studio, the director and whatever they could care less. They're like, break your shit, dude. Like we want you to fly through this thing, get close, let it explode, whatever. But then you look back at your tech, which is normally like, you know, the production, like Hellinet, who I work for, and like my tech guy Brody over there, he usually like he runs the whole like department. He's like one of the managers of the whole thing. I like look back at him and I'm like, yo, is it cool? Like thumbs up or thumbs down? You know, like, do we pull out a GoPro? Do we rip it with a Komodo and 50-50 this thing? So a lot of it's up to them too. And if they're like, yeah, cool, let's wreck it. Like if something happens and it wrecks and let's just go for it, we go for it. And if it does wreck, they just insurance it. That's it.
Well, I guess the question is, how is your track record then?
I'll knock on this wood table I got, but it's been pretty dang good.
Pretty dang good. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
so far so good. This new season.
Yet?
What's that?
Haven't rented Komodo yet?
I haven't totaled one. No.
You know, I've seen a couple of people crash like in the center lifter groups, like, and they look pretty resilient though. Like, you know, the lens gets fucked up, but they're pretty resilient little machines.
They're very resilient.
I mean,
they're all aluminum. I mean, like you'd be surprised. Like they're like do you know what the Z-Cam is?
Yeah. The Z-Cam's a fucking great piece of hardware.
So the Z-Cam and the Komodo are built very well. Like they're like
Okay.
little tanks. The downfall of, I'd say, the Komodo has that big screen. The Z-Cam just has a little screen, so you most likely won't break that. And then obviously everybody wants to shoot Komodo and the Red because it blends into all their other stuff that they're already shooting on Red.
Right.
Very well. I wish a lot more of them would kind of like want the Z-Cam a little bit, because like Komodo can only do like 30 frames a second or something like that. Z-Cam, you could bump up to 120 frames in 4K. And then I think you could do, don't quote me, but I think you could do like 240 frames or something like that.
Yeah, I think you do 240 and 1080 on that though.
No, I think it's still 4K, but it's a weird crop.
Is it still 4K?
Yeah, I think it just gives you like a weird crop on it or something.
Yeah, I ended up buying the BGH1 just because the weight factor. I mean, it doesn't shoot raw internally, but I mean, Vlog is still. I mean, it's still like, I don't know. It's Netflix certified, but the weight wise, it looked attractive as fuck. But you know, sort of part of me is sort of like thinking maybe Z-Cam was the way to go. Z-Cam is such a nice camera, though. I see a lot of people are using it.
Yeah, the thing is I mean, for a lot of the production stuff, like we have a list of what cameras they can use, so Komodo's on there. That's why they use it. But the thing is like lately they've been wanting that wave camera, the FreeFly Wave, and because that does the slow motion, right? Like that really high frame rate. That's what like you see a lot of them using. But it kind of sucks because like it's two different mounts. We have to either like rig up two drones, or you have to switch mounts or whatever it is. And I'm like, dude, if you use the Z-Cam, we could have hit like all these in like 24 frames. And then if you want to switch to high frames, you could like switch it straight over. You could have it a preset already, you know, on there. Like, I don't know, but it's a Chinese company and they're probably like,
Yeah, but you know, but that's the thing though. Like, I mean, I've had good luck with them specifically, and the footage was always to me like really easy to grade.
Yeah, I mean, I have a Z-Cam here, and it's great.
I'm a color junkie. Like, I love color because like that to me speaks emotion about like whatever it is you're filming. Like that's just how I've always thought when it came to film. But I think the Z-Cam's amazing. I think the RAW is a little easier to work with than Red RAW. I think it's a little less taxing, you know, but at the end of the day, like as a pilot, it's like, we don't give a shit, you know, when we're working with this, we're just, hey, you set the camera, we're just flying the route. That is what it is.
I don't do anything. It's like, they set it up, they do the whole thing. I'll give them a little insight of like maybe a couple things, and then I just fly. And then at the end of the, you know, whatever it is, the day, or sometimes after certain takes, we just give them the CFast, and they do whatever with it and go edit it, and that's it.
Yeah, that's cool. Honestly the way. So I got to ask too, you know, with your motors for your rigs that you run beyond Cinelifter, you got these moon boots, man. They're fucking the original OG of huge motor. What's the deal with that? Is that like but what's the thought process behind the design of those motors?
All right. I did those like 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
They've been out for a while. Usually like motors come out like like weeds. Like people are throwing motors out there all the time.
Right. But if something's not broken, why make something, you know what I mean? Like if something's not broke, why fix it? That's
kind of like what I try and do, like with most of the stuff I'm doing directly or whatever. I try and do something that's almost like a little bit future proof for myself. Right. And I already knew that like cameras are getting a little bit heavier, even GoPros, everything. I wanted a bigger stator. Also, when I went to a bigger stator, I could get like the smoother magnets that I wanted to without losing basically like the power ratio of like having like a stronger magnet. So like a stronger magnet, you know, obviously you're going to get like more power out of the motor. But like I wanted more power out of the motor, but I also didn't want it to pull as many amps. So I was like, what can we find for magnets and motor size that's going to be like a good balance? So that's kind of like what we came up with. I went just kind of that route with it. I'm working right now on a V2 motor of that finally. Nice. And it's going to just have like just minor changes, like just minor refinement, not as much like changing the whole thing up, but like just some things I think that there could be some improvements with what everybody's kind of doing now. That might work out. But
So I tried your motors on my 5-inch build with kits, and I went to those after having issues with the FPV cycle ones. I bent the shit out of the bells, and I said I went back to buy more. I said, "Fuck, they're out everywhere." I asked Bobby, "So what's going on?" He's like, "Oh yeah." He goes, "It's gonna be a while before I have more." So I'm looking like for anything close in size. Stumble across the moon boots. I will tell you, as far as throttle control goes, it's tits with that bigger stator. I don't know what it is about a bigger stator. It's freaking tits when it comes to throttle control.
So the thing is too, so when I do fly that rig, I don't know how many people do this, but have you usually fly it with 6-inch props or 5-inch?
5.
You do, okay. You fly it with 5. That's why you're saying you like that throttle control, because when it comes, when you're dropping in on something, it gives you plenty of space to really smooth into like getting under like if there's a low ceiling or something, it gives you plenty of space to get
you don't
in
get
under
that
there.
like you don't get that like you know how that initial like when you're coming out of a dive and you got to get back on throttle, you get
And it
that
pops
little
up.
initial like pop up and then you level. Like you don't get that. It's sort of linear. Like the throttle curve is sort of linear with that, which I really like that. You know, like a lot of people don't. They're like, no, it's a fucking placebo. Just run 2306 and figure out how to control it. But like, why? Like that's the whole point of working smarter, not harder. If a motor is going to give me sort of that linear response, I'm going to go that method.
Somebody in the
time.
chat asked if they're 2407.
Yeah,
motors.
that's the 6S ones are 2407, and they're what 1739 kV.
1739, yeah, which is like a good sweet spot.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm running the P4s now, which I mean, those props are super solid. I mean, probably one of my favorite props right now.
So on the flip side of things too, a lot of guys that were doing long range flights would put a really big 4S on a 7-inch quad that they had, and then they would run those same motors also. So, and then they would run the 2200 kVs.
Okay.
So they would run like the 4S setup, 2200 kVs with a 7-inch, because it would still have the amp. I think like they were saying like at mid throttle amp draw was like 3 amps or something like that.
That's nothing.
It was like nothing. Yeah, and they could just and I was like, yeah, well, that's kind of the point of kind of doing those, because for one, I wanted a really smooth 6S motor where I could do like my cinematic stuff with, and then I wanted something that if I wanted to go fly, because where I live, there's like just a lot of hills and different stuff, and if I wanted to fly a little long range and cruise and get those type of shots, I could do that too, and have like a long battery time. So
now you're running KISS, right?
Yeah, like Fat Tech.
Yeah, Fat Tech, yeah. A lot of people don't really believe the hype in Fat Tech's product or just the overall software. Would you say they're wrong? They need to try it to really understand the simplicity and just the overall feel for it. Yeah.
So I'm like, it's hard to debate with anybody in this hobby, because like,
oh yeah,
when you come into this hobby, there's like everything's good now. It's not like how it was when we started. So like everything's like good, and it's like it's really hard to tell. Almost how you were saying, like analog to digital, like you don't really notice it because you didn't fly as much analog.
Right, I didn't fly as much analog.
And like when people come into this hobby and they ask me like, hey, what do you recommend for me to start? I tell them just get like a beta flight rig, and like even though I'm flying Fat Tech and analog and all this, I'm like, yo, go digital and go beta flight, because there's so many options and price points and everything for beta flight. It's all the videos out there for beta flight to learn all this stuff.
There's a lot of support for that, and I get
there's a lot. Yeah.
Being new to the hobby, I think it's more important to put stick time in than worry about what you're flying. But I think after you get settled in, you get your feet and your heels dug in a little bit, and you got some stick time, and you sort of figure out like where you fall style wise. I think that's when you know, the tuning aspect and just like what you jive with the most sort of takes place. It took me probably about, I would say about a year to stumble across Fat Tech, and I was sort of like, fuck, this is sort of a game changer. It's super simplistic. It took me 20, 30 minutes to figure out, you know, what worked well with my components. Like it just makes sense. Like when I review logs, I'm like, okay, this data makes sense. There's just too many knobs and dials for me, you know, in all these other softwares. I'm like, I don't got time for that shit. I want to go out, I want to fly. I'm probably gonna fuck this up. So I want to know that I can put it back together again. And I'm going to get a same result. Consistency. I think consistency breeds excellence. And I think like I watch everybody, like the biggest mistake I see, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is like when people are first starting out, they get a little bit of that gas, right? They get that gear acquisition syndrome where they're just buying quad after quad, different frame after frame, instead of flying the same shit over and over again. And they don't build any sort of like repetition, like muscle memory. And it just
it's important.
They never progress.
Dude, I mean, that like everything I fly, I don't upgrade anything. I mean, my motors are like 2 years old for a reason. I just built them exactly how I wanted to, and I knew they'd be good for a long time, and they're like still good. I mean, yeah, I want some refinements now, but like it's still solid. Like I might change frames up a little bit, but to be honest, these days a frame's a frame. Like there's not too many different frames out there. Like when we first started, it's a big difference now. But like now it's just kind of like pick something you like, stick with it. And an X frame's an X frame for the most part.
For the most part, yeah.
And then I agree with what you're saying. I mean, even like a new remote, like I started using the Mambo. And like, I don't even use the ethics version. I use the prototype version.
Well, I was gonna say that. I was gonna say the other day I saw a photo on Instagram, and I was like, what the fuck's he doing? He's like, he's not even repping the brand. I'm like, he's using the. I didn't even say anything. I was like, maybe it's just the thing. I don't know, because you know, it's like when you're on a set or something, you're working. You know, the Black Mambo version. It looks like a little more stealthy, a little more professional, I guess.
But you know what it is like,
I don't know.
I already put all the shit that's on the ethics one. I already modified it to that one.
You know, it's funny you say that shit, because as soon as I used the ethics version, as soon as I used the Mambo, I was like, oh shit, this is the first controller that feels like very well spaced as far as the sticks and the throw goes for me. Like it's like this perfect sweet spot. I'm like, shit, I need to buy another one ASAP, because if this shit breaks, I'm a huge redundancy nut. I got to know that I have redundancy on like I'm super anal retentive when it comes to redundancy. So I'm like,
I gotta buy another one. Gimbals swap in and out real easily.
Oh man, they're so fucking nice. The whole RC, like I don't have really anything bad to say. It is what it is. I think they did a great job. They needed this a long time ago, but you know, I would spend money like crazy trying to find like the perfect, like what I feel is like in my hand, like the most ergonomic setup.
Yeah, it's hard to find something that feels good.
Yeah, and it's like the only way
I've gone through a lot of radios.
You got to buy them, and that's the thing. You can't. It's not like you could buy it, try it, and say, you know, it didn't feel right, send it back. There is no fucking returns in FPV. FPV has the worst, like the FPV, like retail side has the worst customer service I've ever seen. Has the worst customer service I've ever seen. Like
all these guys are doing different things. They're working for production companies.
Well, no, it's like
a dentist. They're they're whatever, you know.
Well, I mean, Bob's a dentist, but you open something up. The minute you breathe on it, they're like, no, fuck you. You breathe on it. I'm fucking drunk. I need another beer.
I need another beer. Oh wow.
I'm resorting to licorice now.
What is that? Is that Twizzler?
Just red vines.
Dude, dude. Red vines are the shit, though. Yes,
dude. I'm telling you, man.
Red vines are the shit, dude.
I'm old school with everything. I got original cores and fucking red vines.
Dude, I don't give a shit what anybody says. Like, I'll argue with people. Red vines are like my happy place. I did a video one time on red vines. I did a video on red vines. I shit you not. They saw the video. They fucking sent me like this massive box of red vines. I had so many, like I would have been diabetic. You know,
red vines are good when they're soft.
They are, but you let them get the air hits them a little bit, like you're breaking teeth, dude. You're breaking teeth. So you traveled though. I saw you got a Sprinter van. Is that van decked out to be like slept in or?
Kinda. I'm working towards that, but like, I don't want to go full sleeper mode because I use that for work. So,
okay.
It's got to be like I'm making it like pretty modular. So it's going from like a van, like that I could sleep in, but also like break it into like where I could have like tables, like a fold down like bed situation that's actually like a table that folds up or something. I don't know. I'm kind of just working it into being like a basically for production work. But
you find yourself flying more often for these jobs, or you drive more mostly?
Most of the time I'm driving because I'm filming out in LA.
Okay,
and I'm like,
that makes sense.
I'm about like an hour and a half from LA. All the studio stuff's out there, like Simi Valley and like Castaic area, downtown LA, stuff like that.
I'm sure that it'd be a pain in the ass if you weren't, because man, fuck these batteries though. Like a lot of the batteries for a lot of these cine lifters are like I'm running 4500s right now, but like the 5000. I mean, they're over that limit, but I don't know if they're really checking that though.
No, TSA is kind of just
really,
like
they don't really understand it.
They're just swabbing it for bomb residue.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's funny. I was stopped in Denver. They gave me a hard time. The lady's like, I'm pre-check and everything, and she's asking me all these fucking questions. She's like, well, what is this? And she's holding it. I'm like, yeah, it's got 4 fucking props. What do you think it is? Like, what? I was so confused. But a lot of them are just oblivious, which is sort of scary to a certain extent, that they just don't they don't really understand what the fuck that they're touching, or they're not reading, the actual. Which maybe I was sort of thinking to myself, like, maybe I bring my one wheel, up to Philly this weekend, because, why, just try to get it on the plane to see if they even give a shit. Because if they're not
I think
checking,
you can get the pints on the plane. But
you know what they're gonna give a shit about?
What's that?
They're gonna say, we don't have any room on this plane in the overheads for that or some shit.
Yeah. Well,
that's what they're gonna do.
When you fly in Frontier and you're paying for that overhead space, you're like a fucking VIP on Frontier. Spirit and Frontier, you pay for a carry-on bag, you're like first fucking class on Frontier. I mean, but what
they're like, you get 8 slots, my guy.
What I have learned, I watched a buddy of mine do this. He brings candy on for the flight attendants. So the first thing he does when he gets on the plane, he hands candy to the flight attendants. And throughout the entire COVID duration, they weren't letting us drink. We hit this Delta flight to Vegas, and we were fucking drunk by the time we touched down. I mean, I was like, this was the best flight I've ever had. I mean, we barely, it was amazing. But that's, you bribe them a little bit. Now, coming back from Atlanta, fuck those bastards. There was no amount of candy that could have bribed them. No amount of candy.
Yeah, I think during COVID, I think I only flew like twice for jobs.
It's sort of miserable. Like, I mean, I get sort of asphyxiated on my own fumes. Flying.
We can tell, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's either that or beer. I mean, if I look at whatever airline allows me like some sort of full service, either bar or, it's not that I'm an alcoholic, but I mean, it's a necessary function while you're flying. It alleviates the situation, I guess. I just that looks very alcoholic.
So you get upgraded to first class,
Yeah, exactly. So I gotta ask. We're in the trending down here. Who's a pilot that you like as far as style? Like, who's somebody you watch? They put a video out and you're like, you know what? I gotta fucking watch that.
Man, that's tough. It's kind of tough because I don't really watch that much FPV.
I guess it's like tennis,
okay, here's something funny that just got brought up.
What's that?
And because I don't fly, I don't watch that many FPV flight videos. Do you know what S-bang is?
Bro, I see this shit everywhere. Like hashtag S. You know what I've been calling it, bro? I don't care if this how this lands, bro. I've been calling it spang.
Spang?
Spang.
Okay, so
what the fuck is that shit?
So I think bang. I'm thinking in short for stick banging, like banging the stick.
Yeah, but can you watch that shit though? Like I try to watch that shit. I'm like,
No. So I don't. Okay, I don't understand. I don't understand what it is still. I'm still
don't know.
not processing. I just learned this today. It was just
All right,
brought up today to me.
I don't feel as old
I
now.
watched a few videos of it, and I was like, okay, like what is this? I'm like, this is us flying like 2015 FPV, like where it's all in like an open field, and maybe there's like one tree or a bush or something, or it's like in an open like parking lot, and they're just like doing a lot of just like the yaw flippy type of stuff.
Yeah.
It's almost like, remember like the juicy style that they were calling it. So it's like a mix between like that, I feel like, and just like an open area. But it's just kind of weird to me because I'm like, that's why I'm thinking it's called like stick banging because you're kind of
like,
in an open field and you're just
you
like,
can't watch that shit though. Like it's like I feel like I'm at a fucking Skrillex concert on acid or something. I don't know. Like I'm watching, and they all have that music, and I'm like, I'll watch like 3 or 4 seconds. Like sometimes I'm like, if I don't catch the hashtag at the bottom of it, like where it says, S-bang, I'll start watching, and I'm like, all right, it's not bad. And they start going like this. I feel like I'm looking like that guy from Mr. Deeds where his eyes are all fucked up. I mean, I don't know. I just.
Yeah, I just learned this, and I was like, dude, what is this? Yeah, I don't know, but that means that
where would you say you fall style wise? There's a question for you because you obviously have to watch your fucking self.
Dude, I don't even know.
You're the I don't give a shit style.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I just go out and just like, if I see something and like if I feel like there's a spot where I could a lot of times I just go out there and I'm just like, half the time I'm talking to somebody and flying at the same time. I'm not even like really focused in on it because
those
like
are the best flights though, where there's commentary.
Yeah, because honestly, when I go out, it's like half the time now, like I don't get to just go out and have fun and hang out with somebody and go fly anymore. I feel like where you're just like randomly ripping packs, and that's why a lot of times I'm not even putting up the content of it because I'm just too busy having fun flying, like hanging out, flying, shooting the shit, whatever. Yeah, that's my favorite type of flying. Like I could get fixated on like one thing. Like me and Steele just went out to a small little park and we were flying there, and I was just fixated on going under every single little table there was. There was no flips, there was no rolls. It was like, how many tables can I fly under and how fast can I get this up to?
But sometimes it's like that though. Sometimes it's like that. But it is better to fly like when you're flying with somebody else. Like he's in the chat now. I'll go out and fly with Mihop and we'll go play. It can be somewhere where he's flown like 20 fucking times. I've never been there before.
Yeah.
And it's a good time. It's a good time because you're hanging out with somebody else and you're just, I
had a good time when we flew together. Yeah, it was
you
great.
fucked everything up.
I mean, that's the best thing about like FPV in general is like the community. So like
it is a good community.
Yeah, because like when you fly like DJI stuff, like the DJI scene and stuff isn't really a community. It's people that could just buy it at Best Buy and whatever. FPV is like people that are building it, watching videos. There's a community behind it. There's like this like thing, like it's way more community based and it's fun. Like I go out, I mean, I fly by myself half the time just because it's like people are at work while I'm out flying or like whatever it is. So like a lot of times, but like when I get to go out and fly with people, like it's just fun. And that's like that's where I'm at now with things. Like I've been kind of thinking like if I do come back making videos on YouTube.
You should though. You should.
Yeah, I was thinking like coming back, maybe like doing like 1 or 2 a week. But I kind of just want to like go somewhere and then just do what I'm normally like not trying like like before you'd go out and you try and make content like in a video and do something. But I'm like, why don't I just do what I'm doing? Like I might go out and I might fixate on like one dive gap, and I might be doing that because I might have a job coming up that is going to demand something like that.
Right.
And I was like, I might as well just make videos on just like hitting this one dive gap like over and over and over. Yeah, you might see me hit it like 300 times or something in this video, but maybe I could commentate people going through it and letting them know like this is kind of like why I go out and fly now.
But I think people need to see that like aspect, like the persistence. Like I told people before, like I used to ride BMX like when I was growing up, and you would hit something over and over again,
Yeah.
until you fucking landed it. And I feel like a lot of like that bleeds over, like into FPV. Like this is for me is like perfect, like because if I break something, it's going to cost me money. I'm not going to physically break my bones anymore, but it's the same sort of philosophy. You got to have that mindset that okay, it's whatever it takes to get that shot. It's whatever it takes to get that confidence. I see
Yeah.
too, like a lot of people, they want to hit something and they have a hesitation, right? They have that split second hesitation. And I think that's the worst. That fear that you're just going to go home with broken shit is usually what takes you home with broken shit.
Yeah.
I think if you can drop that, then usually you're probably not going to go home with things that are broken, and you probably land with the shot that you want, and then you start seeing that progression. But I would love to see shit like that. I mean, but it is hard to commit to even videos, making videos on YouTube. I found that if I have a random thought for a video, I just do it, whether I think it's going to get a view or not. At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. You got to do one video for them, and you got to do one video for you all the time. So if you're going to do 2 videos a week, one for the viewer, one that makes you feel good, I think that's the best way to make videos, at the end of the week. I mean, I
Yeah,
think it'd be
totally.
cool to see you come back, man, and do videos.
Yeah, I mean, like it's feasible for me. I mean, in my like I said, because I'm out there all the time, I just need to like bring my camera back out and
Yeah.
take
I
that
mean,
few minutes to just record whatever my audio over it or whatever I'm doing, stuff like that. But yeah, it's just having fun, man. I think that's like my favorite thing of it, and going back and saying like who I like watching, like I don't know, like oh dude, I just scroll. I watch everybody's shit. Like to be on, when I do get on an FPV kick of like watching someone's video, I just start freaking scrolling, dude. Like whatever gets suggested to me, I watch it, and usually
yeah,
I
I
like
find a
it.
lot of cool. I find a lot of cool people like that. Just like with the suggestion shit. Like, there's a lot of pilots out there that I think get buried in the butthole of YouTube.
Yeah,
And I'll stumble across them. I'm like, man, this is some fucking cool shit. Like, I'll go back and look a little deeper. I'm like, okay, everything they're doing is pretty fucking cool. I just added to the I've added a lot of pilots recently just to what I watch, just because it's nice to absorb different styles. I think Johnny 5 asked, let's see, he says, man, you need to come out to a race. Have you ever dabbled in racing?
So when I first started FPV, there'd be like a few races down here, like over in San Diego, and what was that, Riverside or something like that, like up, I don't know, little north of San Diego, another city is Riverside, and
Right.
I would just more same thing. I'd go there because not that many people were flying at the time, so like the scene was kind of even if you were flying freestyle or whatever, it
Right.
was everybody was kind of doing a little race stuff because that's kind of what was cool then. And yeah, I would just go there, try and hit some gates, like fly through them as good as I could, and then like they'd always have a freestyle event like in between in the middle of the day. And so that was like my main thing. I wanted to go out there, do a little like freestyle event, which back then it was like S banging because you were S banging over the race course. And then and yeah, that was my like race career in a sense. But outside of that, dude, I could never compete with like these
I
guys
couldn't
that are
compete,
doing
dude.
shit now. It's insane. Like your mentions and like
Dude, it's just
everybody
sick
like
watching
the
how
bit
fast these guys
modas
are.
and stuff like that. They're just insane.
Yeah, these are insanely fast people, and like,
Yeah.
I don't have the patience to sit there and configure however many quads. I mean, I see they have like stacks of like 15 fucking quads. Some of these people, like, I couldn't sit there and build that many. I wouldn't have the patience to do that. But I mean, that's what they have, because they're like popping shit, breaking shit. I don't have the patience for that.
Dude, I fly with like 10 to 15 degree tilt. They fly like there's like whoop, like all the way up.
Yeah, fucking crazy tilt. Yeah, I fly 10 to 15 myself. I've lowered it quite a bit substantially just because I was breaking shit like crazy flying super fast, and flying a little slower is giving me a little bit more precision, which it's sort of nice. It's nice not having to go home with a bunch of broken shit every week.
Yeah, well, normally like so for like freestyle stuff, I was always between like 30, 35. But I get like just super kind of like muscle memoried in on 30, 35. And then if I have to go to a shoot, that'll never work because like half the time we're I mean like almost zero tilt on those cameras. Maybe it's like 10 degrees, like something like that. So I got used to basically flying that 10 to 15. And then if I need to give it a little more gas, I just kind of like, you know, do those little like forward bumps to give it a little bit more. That's about it. But I never really bring up the FPV cam for it because like there's so much like speed and then like dropping it down to nothing and all that like if I go like 30 degrees tilt and I go to it's worse for me to slow down and see the sky than it is to like go fast and see like half of my shot still that I know is in frame and the ground. If that makes sense.
That makes sense.
So that's kind of how I look at it. If I could like, if I need to speed up on a scene and then slow down, it's way easier.
I got you. Yeah. That makes sense. I mean, 30. I mean, I haven't flown 30 in forever in a day. I haven't even flown
Nothing's
20
worse
in a
than
while.
stopping and seeing the sky. And that's the thing too with those like Sicarios and all those like Cinelifter rigs. You have those props on the bottom that just explode when they like touch anything. That like you need a little bit of that lower tilt because even when you come in for a landing, it's like if you just touch something wrong, it's gonna explode. Then you have to stop and you have to change props or whatever it might be. It's more time for them, and yeah.
So you're flying Sicarios. Is there any other sort of lifters you fly typically, or is that just the two that you do?
Mainly. So I've basically tried everything except that the Honey Badger, and the Banshee. So the Banshee,
Honey Badger looks interesting though.
Yeah. So the Honey Badger and the Banshee are basically they look exactly the same. Banshee's Johnny FPV's new thing that he's has. That I guess like he developed with Straw Hat Sam.
Okay.
And then
that dude's Straw Hat's fucking crazy, bro. Sitting there decasing freaking Black Magic and shit. I'm like, who?
I know that's serious stuff, huh?
Like, you know, that's some serious engineering, dude, to sit there and fucking decase a $2,000 camera.
Yeah, and then he's making like custom ribbon cables for it and everything.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's a cool setup. I just wish like so like Black Magic like isn't on the list of things for production companies, like for the studios.
Well,
so that's the only thing that sucks.
Somebody brought up to me that it has a fair amount of roll and shutter.
It does have that's what's nice about the Komodo they like because it has a global shutter. Black Magic does have a fair amount of rolling shutter. Also, like the files, you have to like bring them into that and convert them from like
DaVinci. I can't deal with DaVinci.
Yeah, the workflow is like a lot worse.
I'm a Premiere guy all the way.
Yeah, so there's a lot of downfalls. I could see why they don't use it, like for sure.
Yeah.
But
those
are the only two Cinelifters I haven't dabbled with. Sicario's good. Sicario flies well. It's not bad. If you could set it up wrong and it could fly horrible. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you get, you start dabbling with like 8 motors, I think that's when like tunes do matter. I know people say, it doesn't matter. No, I think it matters. The more motors you get, the more problems you're going to end up having. I mean, I know I had that issue with the thick, fucking crazy bobble all over the place. And I mean, you got to really bring shit up. You got to do things that you didn't think you would normally do.
Yep.
With a standard quad. Like I had to throw everything out the window of what I thought was safe, as far as my PIDs go. But that works. I mean, and then you get a great result and then it flies fantastic. I'm sort of second guessing now fucking buying the BGH1, man. Like the Z-Cam, just because the Z-Cam has like so much that the Komodo has for a fraction of the cost. I mean, sort of got my wheels turning here.
Yeah, just
Got my wheels
Komodo's
turning.
like standard.
You know, it really is. It's just so fucking.
It's the only thing.
God, $7,000 for that fucking thing, and that's even if they're shipping at the point. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing. Is man, it's just crazy. Nothing's in stock too. Like you everywhere across the board, everything is like a wait, and if it comes back in stock, it's gone just as quick as it came in stock.
You mean for the Komodo?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's because they have that. Like, there's such a big like, what is it? That silicon
Silicon shortage, or yeah, it's I think it's more or less a demand at this point. But I mean, for fuck's sake, like they got to get this shit right.
It's tough. I mean, like that's the issue with like FetTech right now too.
Dude,
that's why.
Oh my god, yeah, I'm glad you said that because I'm looking at the wall here. I'm like, I've got 4 of them built like identical. I'm thinking to myself like, fuck, like I can't afford for any of those to go down because like I don't know when flight controllers are gonna come back. You can get ESCs.
Yeah, you can find the ESCs.
You can find the ESCs, but you can't find flight controllers for shit.
Flight controllers are tough to get. Yeah, that's for sure. But yeah, and that know, actually, I forgot. I never answered your question about Betaflight and FetTech.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that nobody does. You got to A/B. Like, if you A/B, like on the field though, don't like go. Oh, I tried it and I didn't see a difference. Like, just A/B them like back to back. Do it for like maybe a couple like days straight, 10 packs each day, and you'll notice the difference. Same with like
I can tell you, I can notice a locked in difference. Like like the quad
you
goes where I want it to go. Like,
and nothing wrong with Betaflight. I mean, like it works well. All the stuff we use for production work is pretty much it's all Betaflight. We hardly ever use FetTech stuff.
Well, and that's the thing. Like FetTech doesn't have anything that can spin up 8 props, so that's the biggest thing. Like,
yeah,
if they could, trust me, that would be amazing. I would love to see them have, you know, a flight controller that could handle, you know, spinning up 8 because I think they would be able to handle those protocols a lot better than even Betaflight could. But there's a lot of safety things in place with Betaflight that make it sort of an industry standard when it comes to, you know, heavy lifting, you know, cameras, I guess. But I mean,
right now I want like
a jerking off a Betaflight to get it to fly right. I mean, it sucks.
I mean, right now with the Cinelifters, you're so limited. There's like
you really are.
There's hardly like any ESCs to really choose from. There's like component wise, even motors, everything. It's so limited, and like basically everybody's just flying kind of like with what they got, you could say. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to see like 8S setups, 10S.
But that's the thing. There's not a lot of flight controllers really that can handle 8S. There's not a lot.
That's the problem. That's not a lot. That's the whole problem of it.
I think Brain FPV is really one of the only ones that can handle it now with that Brain 2 that's built for 8S. Like right out of the box, like you're good to go. No issue. Like I haven't tried it, but I mean, they're the only ones that I know of right now. I'm running that in my build.
I mean, we're between me and Steel. I mean, like we're talking to like some manufacturers and trying to get them to work on stuff. But I mean, like you said, with shortages and whatever, like who knows, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool shit if they could get stuff done. I mean, I know he's been talking to FetTech and, you know, trying to help make the product better. I mean, and if that's the case, it does really show because, I mean, you know, for a long time, people had a fear, like with KISS products just in general, like it was going to burn up in a blazing ball of fire. But I got to tell you, like my experience with FetTech has been nothing but awesome. Like I've had
it's really good.
Issues. Like even with their customer service, like if I've ever had a problem, they've always been like Johnny on the spot, answer a question, get shit handled. Like as long as you provide the correct documentation. I think a lot of times people have bad experiences with companies because they don't provide enough of information. And that's when you start having that back and forth email conversation because you didn't give them enough of what they need to get their job done the first time. If you just give them everything you need, they're not going to ask you any further questions. They're going to be like, okay, here's the photos, here's a log. All right, let me help you out. I got what I need. You know, it's just
I mean, it happens. It happens to us. I'll get hit up for like an ethics product, and they're like, just ran to me about something, and I'm just like, well, where did you even buy it from? Like we're just like the manufacturer. We're not the distributor of the product,
Right,
like really.
exactly.
And so I'm like, where'd you get it from? And they're like, oh, I got it from like so and so's Hobbies or something. And I'm like, well, have you hit them up for a replacement? Like, or did you get a legit part from them or like whatever? Like if anything, it's like, I mean, on our end of the deal, if they give you a replacement, we'll replace them first of all, and then
Right. I mean, I think
second of
people
all,
don't understand though.
and what a lot of people don't get, we have like Mike Chin over from TBS that does an amazing job with
he's a good
every
guy.
ticket that comes through there. And if you're having any trouble with the actual, like, say, a hobby store or whatever, you hit up Mike. We'll get you a direct replacement to you. So,
Dude, serious talk with Mike though. One time I was having this problem with like it wasn't even an Epic's product. It was a flight controller from Helly Nation having this issue. Dude, he sat and worked with me for probably what felt like 30 minutes over the phone. I didn't know him at the time. He didn't know me. We didn't like neither one of us knew each other. And he sat there 30 minutes just like walking me through. And I hung up the phone.
yeah,
I'm
Mike's
like,
awesome.
I'm like, fuck, this guy's nice. I'm like, holy shit, he's a nice guy. So there is some exceptions to that.
Yeah,
When I say
he's like a low key, like you could say like a Josh Bardwell. Like he knows everything.
But he's not so out there.
No, yeah. Quiet guy, does his tickets, gets paid. That's it.
Josh was supposed to be on the show one time. There was one time where he was supposed to have Josh on the show, and something happened. It fell through. Oh, I got hit with a hurricane. I lost power because that shit happens here in Florida. And we asked him to come back, and he says to us, he goes, "Well, I'm not doing any streams. I'm not doing anything until Flow State comes out." That's what he told me.
Oh,
so I just never like when somebody says something like that, I'm of the type of person that I'm just like, okay, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. I've got a day job still. Fuck you. That's how I am.
I didn't do the Flow State thing, even though like they were putting in a lot of like pilots and stuff like that. Like,
right.
Well, the guy hit me up. I forget his name. Like in the beginning. I mean, I don't really know him. Apparently, he's a good guy. Steele's done a lot of stuff with him, I guess, like with that movie or whatever it is. But when he hit me up, okay. So when I think about you're doing a documentary on FPV,
yeah,
and then like I see your lineup of people that you have in there, and they're like,
it's not like the OGs.
It's relevant to like who's cool, like to get like a cool status right now because you like have the cool the current cool guys in there. But when he hit me up, I was like, yo, did you interview Trappy at all? Did you interview like Ruben from Sweep Wings at all? Did you like hit up Alex from IB Crazy? I was like Time Cop, the Mr. Clean Flight, the guy that started all this shit, like with like flight controllers. And I was like, have you hit up any of these dudes and talked to them before you're even hitting up me? I'm like, go hit them up. And then that's basically he was like, oh, okay, like cool.
They weren't relevant. They weren't relevant. So if it's not relevant, it doesn't get watched because I really truly believe that people don't give a shit about the lineage of how we got to where we are today. Because there's not enough of respect in how we got here, how things got developed. And I'm a fucking newcomer, but I love history. I love history of how things got to where it was because you don't know how you go forward unless you see how things got to where it came from. That's how you get better is understanding the history. And yeah, I don't know. I have mixed feelings on it, but I'm also like, I'll be the first to say it. I'm a fucking.
When you see photos like this of Trappy,
that doesn't even look like him right there, dude. Yeah, I can see it, but it doesn't even look like him, dude.
No. Well, yeah. For one, here, let me see. For one, this doesn't look like him, right?
Sort of a little bit.
Yeah, just a young Trappy. So here's the thing. For one, the dude's wearing freaking ski goggles that are converted into like the first FPV goggles ever made. Like, you're not interviewing that guy?
that should be like everything anybody needs to know, like when it comes to buying a TBS product, of how like diehard he's been into this hobby and this community. Because I'll tell you what, for as big as TBS is in the industry, like he will take the time out. Like if somebody has an issue, he'll go. Like I've seen him go to people's videos. I've seen him go to people in the forum and say,
Yeah.
here, reach out to me. I mean, I've seen that shit. Like, so he
Oh,
really
yeah.
does care, I think.
Yeah, no, he's invested his life into this hobby, like
Yeah.
for sure. Like, I mean, like he's not hiding behind a desk and having everybody else build
No.
this shit for him. His hands are in every product, everything. Like, yeah, like Trappy's the shit, dude.
Yeah.
And then people trying to like, you know,
Corey Gamble says Trappy is in flow state.
yeah. Like, there's a couple dudes that he got in there or whatever. But what I was saying was when he came to me at the time.
Yo, you're saying, hey, no, you should go to these people first.
Yeah, when he came to me, I was like, yo, don't come to me. Like, go to all these dudes. Like, those are the guys you want in this shit.
First right of refusal. I got you. That makes good sense. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be that's gonna be an interesting video to watch. I mean, it'll be interesting. I'm gonna watch it, of course, because I'm curious, what goes in there. But I think a little bit, part of it, I do feel like some of it's gone to people's heads in a sense. There's a documentary of that, which is sad. I mean, because that shit happens. But I mean,
yeah,
I think I think it's always important, no matter what happens, is to stay fucking grounded. Stay grounded, no matter what happens.
Honestly, that's a big part of this like whole like industry thing in general. A lot of it goes to like a lot of dudes' heads. It's just like a nature of it, because it's kind of like, you want to stand out, you want to kind of be that thing or whatever. But I tell you what, like when it all boils down, even when you start going out on these production sets and everything, like, you ain't shit, bro. You're just a fucking drone guy that's flying this drone. Like,
right, exactly. They don't give a shit. You're just
they don't give a shit. So the best thing you could do,
wheel, man.
Yeah, the best thing you could do is be the nicest guy out there. Be humbled that you're out there being able to actually fly drones for a living, doing that shit, and that goes like a long way more. The dudes will be like, dude, that dude, he's chill. He gets the shot we want. Let's bring him back again. So
I agree, dude.
I think that's with everything else, even in the little like community of things. If you're just cool, you're hanging out and you're having fun with everybody, and there's no like ego part of it, then it's way better. It's just way more fun.
Well, dude,
yeah, I think that was a great way to end the show. I really
agree,
appreciate
dude.
all the time you took. You were on here a lot longer than we thought we were planning, right? I mean,
yeah, I thought it was like 30 minutes.
Well, yeah, but once you start fucking talking and drinking and shit, like it just happens, and there's a lot of information. So if you guys haven't, just go back through, check out all the links in the description below, because I'd like to see Eric make content. So bug him over his channel. Make sure you hit subscribe over there. I want to see him hit 20,000 subscribers soon. And like I said, I want to see content. I don't care if you're just diving shit, bro. I want to see you put something out, man.
I don't even know what am I at now? I'm like,
you're at
18,000
right now.
18.
So 2K more, you hit 20, and just endless dive gaps. That's it.
2K more, and I'll buy you guys some beers.
Dude, I'll take it. I'll take all the Coors Light in the world, bro.
I got your address right here. P.o Box 3629.
Bro, it's funny. I get a lot of beer that ends up in that shit, dude. I get tired of answering to the post office, but thank you. Send all the beer. I'm not telling you it's illegal.
Really? Have you had beers come through?
Oh yeah, we've had beer come through. I have certain subscribers they'll message me like, "Hey, I want to send you something," wink, wink. And I'd always like one or two gets damaged in transit, but fuck, the ATF's gonna be after me.
This box is a little wet, sir.
Yeah,
usually you can usually smell it. But dude, Eric, man, you're always welcome back with this premium streaming setup you have, like putting Paul and I to shame with the bokeh and the glorious Canon colors.
Thanks, man.
I dig it, dude. Guys, that's it for the show. We'll see you next week.
All right, thanks for having me, guys.
See ya.
Take care, everybody.
I want you, I need you. You got me right where you want me, baby. Ooh, yeah. And who knew what you do could stop me cold in my tracks, yeah. Why don't you get up off of these high hypotheses? I'm not Socrates, I'm not trying to be cool. Yeah, yeah. I think it's time to change the scene. Ditch the limousine, chicks and cellophane. I just came to see you. They can't touch us, it don't matter. Cause a ruckus, what's the scatter? We got something they never heard of. We got original. We got original. We got original. We got original.
Dobo, what are you hiding from, bro? You just like jet out like that? Like you just peaced out, bro. Like you left me here all by myself? Yo, where are you? Are you like sitting down? Oh, he just took a leak.
We done?
I mean, you had to go to the bathroom that bad that you just ended
Dude,
the show like
I
just
drank
that cold turkey
so
right
much.
there.
Dude, I drank so much fucking beer. I had to piss like so fucking bad. Like, I mean, I was like, I couldn't even hold it fucking in, dude. My foot
Clearly.
was tapping. My foot was tapping on the floor, Paul. Like it was tapping, dude. I had to piss so bad.
Happened.
Bro, I
you need to
drank
get-
3 beers. I had 2 more beers before the fucking start of the show. Dude, I was just fucking old man
We need
bladder,
to get a
dude.
tap inside your room.
No, like I don't have a tap.
Then you'll
in the
really
room,
be
dude.
tapping, you know?
No, but I had this cooler and I was here printing shit and I'm like, I had beer. There was beer, dude. Did you end the
But
stream?
it's not Coors. Coors is like the bomb, right? I mean, you just
No, this is Beach Blonde Ale though. This is
bleach
St.
blonde.
Pete
Yeah,
beer,
yeah.
dude.
You just pissed out. You should have just bottled it and give it back. You know, drank it again. Yeah.
Fuck you. You barely get your white balance right. All right. Well, good show. I think that ended well. I think that went exactly how I thought. That was a good strip. Why do I
It
see
was
the
good.
chat still going? I thought you
I don't
ended
know.
it.
I think people are still watching for some reason. I don't know why.
Why? I thought you asshole. You didn't fucking end it, dude. I was still zipping up my flight. You prick.
I want you, I need you. You got me right where you want me, baby. Ooh, yeah. And who knew what you do could stop me cold in my tracks.
Oh man, no. Oh, that's my brother, my relative from another mother. It always comes back to me.
That's you, dude. You look like Ted Cruz's stepson, dude, or stepbro. I don't know, dude. You got the big. You do. Somebody said to me the other day, they're like, "Hey, your buddy Paul." I said, "Yeah. What about him?" He goes, "Is he related to Ted Cruz for real?" And I said, "Yes, he is." I said, "We don't like to really like Ted doesn't really like to talk about it a lot because
And
of
like that, you
politics,
know, that
and he's running for re-election, and Paul's can't get his internet right or his white balance right or fucking anything right."
They would never reelect the guy if they knew that I was his,
God,
his
no,
father.
dude. God, you can't even do simple tasks correct. But all right, Paul, this was good. You did a good job this week, Paul. You did a good job. I'm going to raise you
did.
up. I'm going to raise you up from 0 to 5.
Huh.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll put the check in the mail. Fuck you, Paul.